watching CSTV, award-winning innovation in broadcast television production.
From the corporate capitals of the U.S., this is American Spotlight. American Spotlight, saluting companies that contribute to the quality of American life. This program takes you behind the scenes to learn the inside stories of dedicated entrepreneurs and fascinating businesses. American Spotlight, featuring exciting, dynamic people whose vision have brought them to the forefront of success. American Spotlight, with your hosts, Nancy Sellers and Bob Smith. Come, travel with us as we discover the marvelous accomplishments of America's most important businesses on American Spotlight. And now from the CSTV studios, Nancy Sellers and Bob Smith.
You know, to most of us, battery chargers and welding equipment may not seem to have a lot in common, but to an engineer, they're quite alike. Both use similar materials and components, and both share existing technologies. Our guest on American Spotlight today is a leader in both fields, making battery chargers for the car, as well as plasma cutters and welders for repair work and metal fabrication. Please welcome the Century Manufacturing Company of Minneapolis to American Spotlight. Hi, I'm Nancy Sellers.
And I'm Bob Smith. During this program, we'll learn how battery chargers, welders, and plasma cutters are made as correspondent Stacy Scott takes a behind-the-scenes tour of the Century operations in Minneapolis and Pierre, South Dakota. Then we'll meet some dedicated Century employees who feel their involvement in Century is more than just a 9-to-5 job. But first, let's meet our studio guests. Here's Nancy.
We're very pleased to have with us today Lee Sundit, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Sundit Group of Companies. Thanks for being here. Hi. And Edward A. Moorhead, President and Chief Operating Officer of Century Manufacturing Company, which is part of the Sundit Group.
Hello, Nancy.
Hi, Ed. Let me start with you, Lee. Give us an overall description of the Sundit Group, if you would, please.
I'd be happy to. The Sundit Group is made up of 3 different companies. They're all separate. Goodall Manufacturing in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and Fountain Industries in Albert Lea, Minnesota, and Century, which we'll talk about later. Now, Goodall Manufacturing Company makes its emergency starting equipment, the type you find on the back of tow trucks or wreckers. And then we have a catalog which has 48 pages of different automotive equipment and accessories. Then the Fountain Industries in Albert Lea, Minnesota, they have 2 divisions. The first one is R&D, which is basically parts washers and other types of equipment that's made with sheet metal. And then the R&D are the other division, which is Fountain. We make coffee machines, and we blend and grind coffee, tea, and other different types of products. In fact, we serve over the world over 2 million cups per day.
My goodness. Well, now, how do you handle the diverse activities, the day-to-day management of these 3 very diverse companies?
Well, Nancy, we have 3 presidents, or a president of each company that handles the day-to-day activity. And we have a good communication system, and we believe in very few layers of management.
How do you handle that? How do you put into practice your philosophy that effective communication is critical?
Well, the Century company, just used as an example, every month the executives meet in small groups with every employee of Century. So they communicate the information up and down.
What are the people, obviously the people must be very important to your overall success.
Oh yes, that's the most important thing in our company. Without them, there wouldn't be any company, and they really make it happen, and we're very proud of them.
Tell us about the Century Pledge. It's a 2-way street, isn't it?
Yes, we actually have 2 pledges. The first one is to the employees. The company pledges to the employees the finest retirement possible. And secondly, we pledge to them an incentive program where they can earn more money. Then the employees all of the employees pledge to our customer. They design products that'll do more for the customer and give products with the finest performance, and they assure the quickest service and delivery and the best value in the industry.
Do you think the people take the pledge to heart? You see it successful?
Oh, I think they do. Every one of them sign it.
Let me move now, if I can, to Ed Moorhead and ask you about Century's markets. Who are your customers?
Nancy, we sell to a very broad group of end users. We go from homeowners to do-it-yourselfers to garages, body shops, to general industry and light industry. We sell through a number of different ways to the market. This includes welding distributors, automotive wholesale distributors, broad retailers. Some of the very major national retailers in North America are our customers. In addition, we sell overseas. We sell to countries as diverse as Saudi Arabia to Korea.
How have foreign manufacturers affected your business?
There have not been a lot of effect for a number of reasons. Number one, we're a very energetic company, highly efficient, and we think we're quite competitive. Beyond that, the markets we are in are not so large that they attract the very large mega competitors. In addition, the whole business is quite competitive. Also, somewhat been helped by the stronger dollar. It's allowed us to be much more competitive. In fact, if you look at it, we are importing many times more, or exporting many times more product than we're importing at this point.
We thank you, all of us thank you. What about growth? Has it borne out your effective policies?
In the last 25 years of our existence, Century has grown over 55 times from this level up to this level over the last half of our life.
From 1965 through 88, 55 times sales have multiplied. That's pretty impressive, I must say.
It's been aggressive.
You must be very proud.
We are.
How do research and development figure into your future plans?
Century's research and development is centered on mechanical technology and on developing better and producing better power transformers. All of our product lives off the power transformer. We have been very aggressive in that. We have developed a number of products that have been first in our industry. And I'm pleased to say, as we've moved through the thick and the thin times, we've been consistent in our development of products. We spend the money all the time to do it, and it's paid off well for us.
You turned a lot back into the company?
We think so, yes.
What's the most challenging and exciting part of your job day to day?
The best part of my job is to see people develop, to see especially young, new people get their hands on a project and do it very well to the point that they are very, very proud of it. It's a lot of fun to see that happen.
Well, apparently you've got some of those people with you at Century because the success is showing. Here's Bob Smith.
Designing and manufacturing products like welders, plasma cutters, battery chargers, and MIG welders for today's world market is a major business feat requiring the very best employees and manufacturing equipment. Correspondent Stacy Scott recently toured the Century facilities in Minneapolis and Pierre, South Dakota, for a close-up look at Century Manufacturing Company.
Century Manufacturing Company was founded in 1937 in the Gateway District of downtown Minneapolis with just 3 employees in the size of a 2-car garage. Today it's headquartered right here in this 250,000 square foot facility in suburban Bloomington, Minnesota, where it employs several hundred people and has even a second facility in Pierre, South Dakota. This is why Century is one of the largest companies of its kind in the world, and why it's capable of producing a welder in just 28 seconds and a battery charger in 11 seconds. Let's take a look. It all starts here in the design department, where engineers and drafters use 4 computer-aided design systems, or CAD systems, to design their products. I'm here with Dan Seabart, who is Vice President of Manufacturing and is going to be our tour director today. Dan, what are the criterion of these drawings based on?
Stacy, we work real hard to understand our customers' needs and then design a user-friendly product that can set new standards in quality and efficiency. These computers help our engineers and designers design the product faster, more efficiently, and with higher quality.
From the design department, we move on to product design testing.
Every new product is tested to ensure that it meets very rigid design standards. For example, this wire feed welder is tested for 30,000 welds. These battery chargers are tested to 3,000 boost cycles, just as if you were starting a dead car 3,000 times. This ensures that we can meet or exceed our customers' expectations.
Innovative product designs are then produced component by component, such as these coil windings in Century's high-speed manufacturing facilities. Coils like these are the heart of every welder, plasma cutter, and battery charger. Everywhere you look, there are highly efficient manufacturing systems like this press, which forms 2,400 battery charger clamps every hour. Product cabinetry and cases come from sheet metal presses, which automatically stamp, cut, and form bodies out of long coils of steel. Presses like this one stamp out entire battery charger cases in one stroke. Dan, is this unusual?
No, it's not unusual, Stacy, but it is very cost effective because we only have to handle a part one time and then it's finished.
In other words, this might possibly take many machines to do the same thing.
It could very easily take 2 or 3 operators if we didn't have this tool.
The cabinets are now ready for the cleaning, painting, and baking process. Century Manufacturing boasts of a unique system where parts are electrified or electrically charged to attract the paint in order to achieve a perfectly smooth finish. The conveyor carries the cabinets through a 380-degree temperature oven to bake on a tough, attractive finish, then directly on to one of 7 assembly lines. These conveyorized assembly line balances production, quality, speed, and efficiency with quality workmanship. The result? A welder completed every 28 seconds and a battery charger every 11 seconds. Dan, how do you relate this quickness and still keep up your design standards?
Stacy, every component we use on the line is tested at least once before it gets here. Then on the line, every assembler checks the work of the person in front of them.
To meet the requirements of Century's rapid expansion, a new manufacturing facility was opened in Pierre, South Dakota, which has now grown to 70,000 square feet. We're about to take a look at a conveyorized varnish coil system, which has some very unusual features. Tell us about these.
This system's worked well for us, Stacy. We assemble, weld, and put the transformers on this conveyor, bring them down and test them. Put them on these hooks. They go into a varnish room where they're dipped and brought out without any help from an operator. Then they're lifted overhead, air dry, and brought down right at the assembly station where they're used by our first assembler. Overhead conveyor lines transport the finished products to our warehouse or into the shipping area for immediate transportation to our customers.
You don't have to look far to see their customers using the finished product. Service stations and garages everywhere use Century battery chargers to test and charge batteries and start cars. Repair shops on farms and in rural areas are constantly relying on Century arc welders to repair their industrial and transportation equipment. Even the most modern automotive body shops use Century's MIG welding equipment for repairing cars and plasma cutters for sheet metal cutting. This process is 9 times faster than abrasive cutoff saws and leaves the metal cool to minimize distortion. I spoke with Rick, the manager of Abra Auto Body Repair.
Now, there's probably hundreds of welders on the market, but we've used the Century welders for 3 years now, and we're very happy with the project. It does the job for us. It gives us a consistent weld every time that we use it.
In a moment, we'll meet more of the people behind the success story at Century. But first, Bob and another guest from Century, Scott Sundet, have some products to show us. Gentlemen?
Thank you, Nancy, and that's right. Scott Sundet is here. He's Director of Sales for Century. And Scott, some of the products that you make. Wonderful. What is this unit right here?
This unit here is a commercial type battery charger. You often see this at service stations. It has a 2-hour timer, so you can set the timer and leave the unit and go and do other work. It also has a very powerful boost rating for starting cars that have a weak battery. Also a test feature for testing the battery and the charging system of the of the automobile.
And for the people at home, like me, and many of our people who live in colder climes or even in warmer climes, this is the home unit. About how much does this unit cost?
This unit sells for under $50. It's a heavy-duty home type charger. It has a 10 amp fast rate as well as a 2 amp slow charge rate, but it also has a special boosting circuit for starting cars.
Really? Is that new in home?
Relatively new. We pioneered it a few years back, and it's been an extremely popular unit because of the problem you have in cold winter especially.
You know, one of the things that was brought up during one of the stories was that you can turn one of these out every 11 seconds. That's amazing that you can do that.
Each one of the lines, we have several assembly lines, and the people are very proficient, and it's a process we've developed over many years of experience. And
how long does a person stay on the line?
I would guess about 10 years. A lot of the people I used to work with are still there today working
Why?
on the line. I think the incentive program, they have an opportunity to earn more, but there's a real sense of teamwork. We have excellent people.
Moving away from the chargers into this unit, what is this?
Bob, this is a MIG welder, and the reason they call it MIG is there's a metal wire that comes out as well as inert gas. That's what the MIG stands for.
Let's hold this right here. And okay.
And that unit, when you pull the trigger, the wire feeds out as well as the inert gas, creating an arc and a puddle, and it melts the two pieces of metal together.
Wonderful. And that is used for most of the metal work in almost any kind of welding or anything of that nature?
Especially in auto body type repair or light gauges, sheet metal, and so forth.
It gives a nice smooth bead?
Correct.
So that you put it together, now if we're going to take it apart, what is this unit?
This is a plasma cutter, and what plasma stands for...
Let me hold this right here. Go ahead and explain what plasma is.
Plasma stands, what it is a superheating of the air, and it's up to 30,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and that extreme temperature is focused through this little nozzle into a very fine flame that cuts quickly and cleanly through sheet metal or up to quarter-inch steel.
Quarter-inch steel.
Correct.
That's great. Scott, wonderful units, a marvelous company, and thank you for being with us here on American Spotlight.
Thank you.
Now back to Nancy.
Communication is vital to the success of any American business. And to that end, Century employees are involved in important decisions that affect day-to-day business and ultimately, of course, the company's success. Stacy Scott has the story from Minneapolis.
Because of the ideas we got from everybody earlier, our assembly line efficiencies have been going up. We can take a look at this chart here, and we've been moving right up along towards 100% efficiency.
One special ingredient is apparent at Century, a genuinely strong desire in all of the people to satisfy their customers. Teamwork and communication for both employees and management are considered critical. Century's vice presidents meet with every plant and office employee each month in small groups to give employees the opportunity to discuss issues and voice their opinions. These monthly meetings seem to have an impact.
Everybody's looking out for each other, and we're all concerned about what's going on as a group, and in these meetings we have an opportunity to talk about that.
You do get the pat on the back when a good job is done. You are appreciated. It's not just something that you have to build yourself up. I mean, people here help build each other.
Well, I think it's helped me because I'm aware of what other people are thinking, more so than you would be. You know, you don't normally just sit down and talk about a lot of the issues. It encourages people to bring things up that are bothering them, and you can see how that's affecting you and what you can do to help.
Gets everybody talking. Problems that exist, if people don't have the opportunity to talk about them, they don't get out. You know, it's little things aggravate people and it affects their work. By giving them this avenue to talk about it, they open up.
My involvement goes way beyond just keeping accounts payable up to date. I like to come to the communications meeting and have feedback in questions that they ask and have everybody's input together and have us all work together to make it a better place to work for.
This year, Century's profit-sharing goal is targeted at an additional 22% of an employee's normal earnings. This kind of environment leads to better morale, lower turnover, and very happy people.
I've been with Century Manufacturing 15 years now, and I know that if I quit at any time. I could take that money with me. Now, most companies, I don't think have the kind of retirement program that ours does. But I don't plan on retiring. I'm probably going to die here.
Yes, I do share in the profits. At the beginning of the year, we had the largest payout that I've seen since I've been here in 5 years. And the potential at the end of this year is pretty tremendous. You know, things are going well. People are pulling together. It's going to happen. I see it, and I think everybody else does.
I've been here 17 years. Years ago, I never would have thought that I'd stay with a company for this long. You know, I think that a lot of times you say that it's the people, and it is the people that at Century that have made me want to stay here. But I think it has to go a little bit deeper than that, that it's the philosophy of the company that instills this in the people. There's a lot of companies that people just don't stay at for that length of time. So there's something behind it.
The result? Higher customer satisfaction. Rick Carlson, Vice President of Marketing, lets us in on the real secret.
Stacy, our people really make the difference. At Century, each and every employee is genuinely concerned with quality, efficiency, and customer satisfaction.
Our pledge, of course, is to provide the finest quality products to our customers. We believe in it, and that's what we try to do, and we do this through communications.
The product is better because people are real caring. They like to work here, and they want to make the best product possible because they have incentive to do that.
You know, when somebody asks me where I work and I say Century, I want to be proud of saying Century, and I think in saying I can be proud because I'm proud of the product that's being made.
The ultimate product hasn't been built, but we're striving for that. And through communications within the company and with our customers, we're coming closer to that ultimate product.
The formula for success seems to be working. The average age of employee is 36 years old, and the average length of employment is 10 years, with employees that have stayed over 30 years.
The work that I do makes a difference.
The employees here at Century really make a difference.
Clearly, the employees at Century do make a difference.
And as you can see, the employees at Century believe, and it shows in the success that Century is the world's leading manufacturer of welding equipment and battery chargers. That's pretty strong, leaders of the world there. Where do you go from here now that you've had all of this success?
Well, Bob, number one, we want to capitalize on the momentum we have. It's moving us, and we want to keep going. We see the company developing further along the type of product they've been building, that is broaden the line and concentrate on selling it to the same types of customers, but with a broader and broader line of better products for the customer.
Making a better product, I would assume.
Absolutely, continually growing that.
Do you see in your future anything in new acquisitions, or?
We are always interested in acquisitions along the product line, the distribution that we're selling to. Plus, we're interested in acquisitions that distribute other products in that area, and acquisitions that would help us build a better product, vertical integration type acquisitions.
You are really a totally vertical integrated company as it is right now.
Quite vertically integrated, you're right.
That's wonderful.
Well, Lee, you've come a long way from the days of selling welders out of the trunk during your college years, haven't you?
Yes, we have come a long way, but the reason for it is our great people and how they make it happen. We're very proud of them.
What have been the most challenging obstacles in those years?
Oh, I think there are many things that have been challenging. I think the biggest thing is setting a goal and saying, I can do it, or we can do it. And I think it's so important that we do it together.
And managing this diverse group of companies requires knowledge in many different disciplines, doesn't it?
That's correct. It takes good communications, people dedicated, working together, teamwork, discipline. Discipline probably is very difficult.
Well, I would certainly like to personally sample one of the 2 million cups of beverages that will be served every day. Is that correct?
Every day.
On this from this particular type of equipment. Now, this is from your fountain company.
That's correct. We can give you fresh brewed coffee, or just look at this. You just pull this lever, and you just add the water that's right there, and you've got a fresh brewed coffee from a black-haired Norwegian.
So long as you're not black-hearted. Oh, it smells wonderful. Is there some Norwegian secret in here?
Oh, it's finest blended coffee.
It's hot, too. It's wonderful. 2 million cups per day. Would I find this on airlines and restaurants? Where all?
That's correct, you can.
Well, I want to ask you one last question. We have many aspiring entrepreneurs, rising corporate stars. What advice would you give them? What does it take to be successful in today's very complex marketplace?
Well, Nancy, I think first of all, I'd like to say our family has a philosophy. Whatever we have, God gave us. And we're here to do the best we can. But I think there's 3 things. Number one, you should have a goal. And then if you have that goal, you've got to really believe in it. And then the third thing is opportunities come to everybody. So you have to prepare yourself for opportunities. When they come, then you can take advantage of them.
What was your goal, Lee?
Well, I grew up on a farm, and I guess during the Depression, you just said, could I ever make enough money just to have a home? And it was kind of scary in those days, and probably was easier for us than the generation today.
How did you recognize the opportunity when it presented itself? Is it easy to overlook them sometimes?
Well, I think if you have goals and you work hard, they do come. But you do have to really have that goal.
Mm-hmm. And define it clearly. What would you have to add, Ed?
I think the exciting thing is to see people take on challenge, like Lee says, and bring it through, whether it's a new product or it's a new customer or whatever. But for all of us to focus on what we want to do, and by working together and by using as much imagination, as much hard work as we can to get it done. And it's just exciting to see that happen on a regular basis, and we're doing it.
What do you do specifically to bring along new young people, as you mentioned, is a satisfying thing for you to do?
I think we try and find good young people. We try and give them an opportunity early with the company to get some feeling of what they can do, and then we start giving them a little bit more than they can handle all the time and just see how they can do with it. And we are so surprised to find people that are totally homegrown. We've got a fellow doing engineering work that really came out of the shop, and he is probably our best engineer, and I just love to see him work, and I love to hear him talk about his projects. He's very organized.
Well, we toast to your success, and thank you so much for being with us. Lee Sundit, President, Ed Moorhead, President of Century Manufacturing. There's his son Scott, Director of Sales. For Bob Smith, I'm Nancy Sellers. Join us next time for American Spotlight. Bye-bye.